Title 8. Crimes Against Persons. Elements: that a person was killed, that the accused killed him, that the killing was attended by any of the qualifying circumstances mentioned in Article 248, and the killing is not parricide or infanticide. Elements: that a person was killed, that the accused killed him without any justifying circumstance, that the accused had the intention to kill, which is presumed, and the killing was not attended by any of the qualifying circumstances of murder or by that of parricide or infanticide. Elements: that a child was killed, that the deceased child was less than 3 days 72 hours of age, and that the accused killed the said child. Elements: that there is a pregnant woman, that the violence is exerted or drugs or beverage administered, or that the accused otherwise acts upon such pregnant woman, that as a result of the use of violence or drugs or beverage upon her, or any other act of accused, the fetus dies, either in the womb or after having expelled therefrom, and that the abortion is intended. Elements: that there is a pregnant woman who has suffered in abortion, that abortion is intended, that the offender who must be a physician or midwife causes or assist in causing the abortion, and the said physician or midwife takes advantage of his or her scientific knowledge or skill. Elements: that there be castration, that is mutilation of organs necessary for generation such as penis or ovarium, and that the mutilation is caused purposely and deliberately, that is to deprive the offended party of some essential organ for reproduction. Elements: that the offender is a man, that the offender had carnal knowledge of a woman, that such act is accomplished under any of the following circumstances: by using force or intimidation, or when the woman is deprived of reason or otherwise unconscious, or by means of fraudulent machination or grave abuse of authority, or when the woman is under 12 years of age or demanded. Elements: that the offender commits an act of sexual assault, that the act of sexual assault is committed by any of the following means: by inserting his penis into another person's mouth or anal orifice, by inserting any instrument or object into the genital or anal orifice of another person, that the act of sexual assault is accomplished under any of the circumstances enumerated under the first act of committing rape. Elements: pick, that the offender is a private individual who is not any of the parents of the victim nor a female, that he kidnaps or detains another, or any other manner deprives the latter of his liberty, that the act of detention or kidnapping must be illegal, that in the commission of the offense any of the following circumstances is present: that the kidnapping or detention lasts for more than 3 days, or that it is by committed simulating public authority, or that any serious physical injuries are inflicted upon the person kidnapped or detained, or threats to kill him are made, or that the person kidnapped or detained. Elements of PICO: that the offender is a private individual, that he kidnaps or detains another, or any manner deprives him of his liberty, that the act of kidnapping or detention is illegal, that the crimes is committed without the attention of the circumstances enumerated in Article 267. Elements of UWOF: that place is uninhabited, that the accused found there a person wounded or in danger of dying. The accused can render assistance without detriment to himself, that the accused fails to render. Elements of grave threats: where the offender attend his purpose of TCDA, that the offender threatens another person with the infliction upon the latter's person, honor, or property, or upon that of the latter's family of any wrong, that such wrong amounts to a crime, that there is a demand for money, or that any offer or any other condition is imposed even though not unlawful, that the offender attends his purpose. Elements of grave threats: where the offender attends his purpose of TCDA, that the offender threatens another person with the infliction upon the latter's person, honor, or property, or upon that of the latter's family of any wrong, that such wrong amount to a crime, that there is a demand for money, or that any other condition is imposed even though not unlawful, that the offender attains his purpose. Elements of grave threats not subject to a condition of TCN, that the offender threatens another person with the infliction upon the latter's person's honor or property, or upon that of the latter's family of any wrong, that such wrong amounts to a crime, that the threat is not subject to a condition. Elements of PCVN: that a person prevented another from doing something not prohibited by law, or by compelling him to do something against his will, be it right or wrong, that the prevention or compulsion be affected by violence, threats, or intimidation, that the person that restrained the will and liberty of another has no right to do so, or in other words, that the restraint is not made under authority of law or in the exercise of any unlawful right. Elements: that the offender is any person, agent, or officer of any association or corporation, that he or such firm or corporation has employed laborers or employees, that he forces or compels directly or indirectly, or knowingly permit to be forced or compelled any of his or its laborers or employees to purchase merchandise or commodities of any kind from him or from said firm or corporation. Elements: that the offender pays the wage due to a laborer or employee employed by him by means of tokens or objects, that those tokens or objects are other than the legal tender currency of the Philippines, that such employee or laborer does not expressly request that he be paid by means of tokens or objects. Title 10: Crimes against Property. Elements of robbery in general: that there be personal property, bienes muebles belonging to another, that there is unlawful taking of that property, that the taking must be with intent to gain, that there is violence against or intimidation of any person or force used upon things. Elements: that the offender has intent to defraud another, that the offender compels him to sign, execute, or deliver any public instrument or document, that the compulsion is by means of violence or intimidation. Elements: taking of personal property, taking the said property belongs to another, that the said taking be done with intent to gain, that it be done without the owner's consent, that it be accomplished without the use of violence or intimidation against persons, nor of force upon things, that it be done through the above circumstances. Elements that personal property is mortgaged under chattel mortgage law. That the offender knows that such property is so mortgaged, that he removes such mortgaged personal property to any province or city other than the one in which it was located at the time of the execution of the mortgage. That the removal is permanent, that there is no written consent of mortgagee executors, administrators, or assigns to such removal. Elements: personal property is pledged under the chattel mortgage law. Offender who is the mortgagor sells or pledge the same property or any part thereof, no consent of mortgage written on the back of the mortgage and note on the record thereof in the office of the Register of Deeds.